Yo, what's up guys, welcome back. So, we've reached a new point of silliness. Currently in the OCG, both TCG and OCG, Ryzeal is the best deck, right? By far for the OCG. And there's no way that this deck will be full power by the time we're getting the new Heraldic cards. And initially I thought that, okay, they have some restrictions that it might not be too optimal to main deck them in Ryzeal. For now, you know, sure, Fiendsmith in the TCG with Ryzeal is the best variant, but these new cards take the game to the next level of ridiculousness, of silliness. And sure, you might initially think, like I did, okay, you have to add a couple of those heraldic cards, like how does it, you know, do with consistency? Quadoodle, nothing, it doesn't matter at all. You bypass, or you know, you replace your basically your Fiendsmith engine that you're running in the TCG with your heraldic cards, and it doesn't really come with a downside. Sure, you can draw like, what is it, like 4 heraldic cards, okay, that's a brick. But I mean, you know, the Ryzeal cards are just 1-card starters on their own, so it's a 1-card engine, and you're still playing a buttload of hand traps. So hardly any downsides, you know, to that particular, you know, to this particular deck. It does come with a small restriction, but I'll come back to that in, you know, the couple of replays. But the thing that takes at least the reason why this deck is so ridiculous is Ouroboros. It has already been played, or it's currently being played in the OCG as well. But the current combos featuring, at least that's not with you know, Heraldics. It's just Ouroboros for 2. That's the more generic combo for Ryzeal for now, and players are even playing Mathmech as featured on Road of the King, but all these combos only hit for 2 cards in your opponent's hand. But I mean, with hand traps, let's say if your opponent uses a hand trap and then they lose 2 cards, they're left with 2 cards in hand with, you know, a draw phase, so that's 3 cards to work with to beat your whole Ryzeal full combo, and that's super hard, plus hand traps, don't forget that. So let's see some replays and how this deck works out. Alright, so it's a 1-card combo. 1.5, you need to discard. It all starts with either green or bonfire. So, you know, green sends 1 extra deck card to the graveyard, which is the Heraldic Exceed, which sends 2, and you know, send Leo. Leo searches basically a Sanguine-alike card. You know. But it also triggers from the deck. You go for the Ouroboros number 1, so that's 1 discard. Go for the Heraldry Multiple Monster Reborn, it reborns 2. Go for the Exceed Duo Drive, not exclusive to Ryzeal cards, so detach 2 to search 2. Go for one of the new ones, Eclipse. When it's sent to the graveyard, you can reborn 1 rank 4 and then attach another rank 4 in this case. So reborn Ouroboros for discard number 2, and the Exceed for Heraldics is not once per turn, so you can send Foolish Burial 2. Overlay for another Ouroboros, discard another card, and then again go for your Ryzeal Monster Reborn, which is not exclusive to Ryzeals. So go for Ouroboros number 4, you know, use Monster Reborn, Big Monster Reborn number 2. Here are some, you know, diversity, or some different rays, but you go for the Heraldry Exceed, copy Ouroboros, detach, and then discard the last card, and you still have your full hand of hand traps and interruptions. And here is again, your paths might diversify, but again, you could end on whatever what, and on, Bakuska. The thing is that as soon as your opponent uses a card effect, I think, or a monster effect, you can cheat out the big Heraldic Exceed, right? The one that, what is it, makes your opponent's monsters unknown or something. Yeah, that definitely works out. Okay, against hand traps. The big hand traps you need against this deck, as it was with the wind-up hand loop back in the old school days, like Failure doesn't matter, Imperm doesn't matter, Ash Blossom, nope, doesn't matter. The most important ones are Nip, and the Charmies, and of course Maxi. But again, not searchable, and there's stuff like Crossout, Ash for your Maxi, for the OCG, or Charmy. So good luck drawing those, but you need those. You have to pray that you open with those against this deck. So if you're on board breakers, you're screwed. You're not going to win this, because they will just loop you for 5, because it's that consistent. I mean, you know, Ryzeals are just 1-card starters, and 1 card is full combo. So basically the same, you can just combo them and loop for 5. Oh, and at some point I was like, well, imagine the new one. What is it? Is it the shark? Not the whale. The whale. It's upon summon, discard this one to search. You have to search 2 heraldic spells. You know, the double big monster reborn. But imagine you draw one, then you're like, it might be useless. Nope. doesn't matter. So you can definitely get away with only running 2 Heraldic spells, because again, you don't want to play the bad Heraldic monsters, right? And also the Phoenix one is basically a Methmec, but it does lock you in some way, but it doesn't matter. It absolutely doesn't matter, guys. Okay, so what is it? Ash, Imperm, and Ghost Ogre, so that's 3 hand traps. And the thing is that sure, they can keep throwing hand traps at you, and the beautiful part is that Ryzeal is already running Ouroboros, and if they don't hand trap you there, they will always lose 1 card, right? So again, Reborn Ouroboros, discard another card. They preserve Ghost Ogre for later, thinking, you know, to go for, what is it, the Duo Drive? So go for Detonator first. This is a small deviation, I guess, because we can Methmec alike, send Leo Search, then use Whale, banish to, you know, Reborn, 2 of the same names. Go for Duo Drive now for protection. Ghost Ogre, nope, doesn't work. We detach to Search 2 for more negations, more interruptions, because that's super fun. Sure, they will keep 1 extra card in hand, but we keep our Ryzeal full combo. Yes, must be fun, right? And you know, not forget hand traps. This deck plays like 15, 16 hand traps or disruptions, and we can pop that, and that's more than enough for next turn, right? So you see how silly this is. You need, Maxi, you need to pray for the Charmies for UCG, right? But you need to pray for the Charmies, and currently in the TCG, Crossout is still at 3, and first of all, you need to pray you have those cards, and then you still need to pray that your opponent does not have Crossout. In case of this, I mean, you know, if things are not getting hit on a DCG list, on a future DCG list. Alright, some deviations. Let's see, we draw 1 of the Heraldic spells, so now we cannot use our normal summon for Rail, which is fine, because we can just use our normal summon for Ice. Go for Ouroboros, that's already 2 hand traps gone. That's the first discard. We go for Note. Reborn something, go for Duo Drive with only 2 of them, you know, 2 cards in their hands. This is also not okay. The Eclipse one, that's such a silly card as well. Reborn Ouroboros, discard another card, so this is basically for their standard 2-card discard combo. We can extend, we were able to search Phoenix just in case we can Reborn. To go for Detonator, yeah, for more protection. And potential searches if you play more of the Heraldic cards for next turn. We can lock ourselves. The problem is that you can still go for any generic Exceed if you go for the Heraldic Methmec Circular, but you need to use Heraldic monsters on field, right? To go for any generic Exceed. So go for Ouroboros and discard it, it's just so silly. And next turn you have your big monster Reborn. Again, remember we didn't use Shark previously, discard to Search 2. Heraldic spells, but it just doesn't matter. And the big problem though is that all of the Ryzeal cards are 1-card starters, and 1-card discard 5. That's a big deal. This is actually a big deal. Because again, you still run, what is it, 15 hand traps, board breaker or whatever, all of those 1-card starters, and even drawing those Heraldry models, it doesn't really matter that much. Okay, you can break on them, but still, they do silly things. Alright, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Peace.